Today, we're going to go through the best practices that I follow as I post on Skillshare. A few people were commenting and asking me to make a video about this, and I highly recommend teaching on Skillshare because it's one of the platforms that help you with discovery. For credibility, I have thousands of students already. You can check the link here and see my own classes for yourself. So in this video, we're going to go through how to figure out the thing that you're going to teach. I'm going to have an example of a friend of mine who I wanted to help put on Skillshare. So I was working with him the other week to do this. And we'll also go through this Notion document that I made for him. So it's like a checklist. Basically, you go through this checklist and then you'll have all the best practices and then you'll be ready to post. All right, let's jump in and begin. The platform of Skillshare is mostly for creatives. If you scroll through a lot of the classes, like these are recommended learning paths, for example, a lot of it is for creative things. Like this is web design. This is for, let's just look. This that ranges from all types of topics. Like this is how to spark your idea. This is some exercises to try. These are habits to do, all the way to something that is like more physical, where there's painting lessons. Like for example, if you go to arts and illustrations here, I'm sure we'll have something more in the painting side and more tactile type of work. And so I think this platform is geared towards creators. So if you are thinking about making a class for here, consider what type of creator or creative work that you can do. And as you're teaching this, one of the things that I've noticed in a lot of these classes is that there is a clear project to do. So a project would mean like something that you could have at the end. Like if they watch and finish this class, they'll have a takeaway where they could practice and do some project. For example, this is a drawing foundations class, and this teacher has a project here where you would do an illustration. And that's just one of the examples. If you look at some of my classes, for example, like this mid-journey one, there is a project where you would go and create something with AI imagery. So here are a lot of the submissions that people have based on what I taught in the class. And so as you're considering your class, think about what type of project they can do. And this could be anything from like writing a copywriting type of script, because they do have some marketing classes on here, to maybe a painting type thing. I was doing this for my friend, so I was using his class as an example, and he is a painter. And we'll go into that in a sec, because I made all of this for him a few days ago, and then now basically you just have to follow these steps, these guidelines that I have, and then you could also follow the best practices for your class as well. So for the topic, consider where you have expertise as a creator, creative, and then from there you can build onto that idea and then think about what takeaway they can have, as in a project they can have from what you teach them. Now moving on. Okay, so I'll start by introducing you to this Notion that I created. And this Notion that I created was for my friend a few days ago. I was trying to get him into Skillshare, and he's a painter. His name is Fessel. He's an amazing painter. If you haven't seen his work already, you should follow him and support. This is his YouTube. And I was saying that he could use some of the lessons that he had on YouTube already and start bringing it into a platform like Skillshare and start monetizing it, because I think he has an amazing talent. And he also explains these concepts very well, because he knows these concepts very intimately that other people don't really know. So here's him mixing some colors, and some of his best videos are him teaching how to do certain types of paintings. These are amazing paintings that I'll probably never get to be able to do because I'm not that good at painting. But he has that talent for painting, and he can teach it because he's proven so in these videos that he's shown. So he has instructions and everything on these videos. So I was saying, all right, you could probably use one of these videos, and then I grabbed one of these videos as an example for him to bring onto Skillshare potentially. Now, of course, I did tell him if you were to do that, maybe try a new concept or remove this video so there's no like clash of interests. And so I picked an example from his videos, and this was the example, acrylic painting tutorial. So I was like, all right, let's go and break this down into how we could potentially have this as a class on Skillshare. So then as we're doing that, running through that, I made a Notion for him. So this is the Notion. So I've had some steps for him to do. The first one is to sign up as an instructor and then fill out these blank boxes down here, because basically the important thing is to have your class down, like the videos, have the merchandising, which is the trailer and the description, and then the project. And essentially, those are the big main pieces. So from here, I told him, all right, so let's go and work on that trailer, because for the most part, you already have a solid foundation on the videos in the class. But if you don't, whoever's watching this, don't have a solid foundation on making the videos for the class, then I'll also go through that later in the video. But for now, we're just going to go through here because you can follow along and see based on a real example. So for him, I was like, all right, let's go in and start talking about the trailer, because for the trailer of this class, because every class needs to have a trailer, you have to have a trailer. So then they watch the trailer and then they're like, okay, I like this teacher, then maybe I'll sign up for it. And then, so this is basically what I broke it down to. For the trailer, it should go something like, hi, my name is blank. I'm a type of blank. Basically anything that is a professional skill or a creative professional skill. Filmmaker, copywriter, creative director. And then the part after that is the credibility marker. So it's like saying, I've been a artist that's been showcased in these shows around the world, New York, London, Tokyo, or I've worked in this industry for the last 2 years. I've been doing this so-and-so, and I've gotten these results. So think about what makes you credible in what you're about to teach. Because if you want to teach something, you should at least have some credibility in it. And even if you're new, you probably have done this doing something professional, like to some certain extent. Like if you're a new photographer, which I was when I first started, I was still confident in making classes for headshots because I had done so many headshots. So from there, you would move on to the next part. And then you would say something like, today we will learn about blank, which is the type of painting for this example, and what they will accomplish, which would be painting this type of painting using so-and-so or with these colors or in this environment. For example, this is of like an ocean themed type of painting or a cloud. He specializes in ocean type beach stuff. So it could be related to that and fit in right there. And then you'll also go over, we will cover, and then this is already based on his video already. So I looked at what he taught in the video and I was like, okay, these are the lessons from the class. I broke down like, here's what we're going to learn. These are the tones and these are the techniques and whatnot. So I was like, okay, we'll move it down here. And this is what the students might potentially learn. And then this class is also perfect for blank, which is people who want to do this, artists that want to do this, or copywriters that want to market for these types of brands, or photographers that want to shoot for these types of brands, so and so. And then at the end, let's begin. So he would film that, and then as he's finished filming that, you would put some B-roll on top. So if you look at my videos, you can see that I have some B-roll on top of my video. So this is like B-roll that is introducing the concept. If there was sound, you would hear what's going on, but then this is the opening to a AI video class, and then this is me talking, and then as I keep talking, there's going to be things that pop up like this B-roll, that B-roll. Sometimes I add a different angle, sometimes I add words and bullet points in there, and basically those are the two things, just B-roll or words. And if you have words, that's maybe to highlight what you have as you're speaking. Maybe I'm highlighting a certain technique or something you'll learn in the class, have that pop up in the trailer as words. Now, this one didn't have so many of the words, but if you watch some of my other classes with the intros, there is a lot more words in it, and you can see like that is highlighting what I'm talking about at that moment. So this is like artists or creative thinkers or whoever this class is perfect for. So now that we have that intro trailer out the way, I'll briefly go over the editing style for you because it could be done really simply. The most important thing is that you teach somebody so that they end up learning and having a new skill that they developed based on your class. So it doesn't have to be full of crazy animations moving around. It could be simply something like this. So I start off with the title card. It moves just to have a dynamic element. And then I go explaining these concepts. So this one is the elements of style. And then I talk about the different elements of style. And really, this one is mainly just a talking one. I do have some words pop up every so often as it breaks onto different parts of it. And then I also have other classes where I would go and show people the behind the scenes kind of where I'm like doing it, but at the same time, my face is on the bottom, just like some of the videos that I do here, like the case studies that I do on this channel. And for this one, there's the words here, and sometimes there's the B-roll that you saw earlier. I'll also show this format as well, which is very similar to the ones that I do here on YouTube, where it's me on the side, and then I'm talking as I'm showing the screen recording right here on the other side, and I'm just going through how I made this AI cat, for example. Now, this is another easy way for you to be able to teach something without going through a lot of different types of editing, because for this, keeps it dynamic by showing you in the frame, and also at the same time it shows and creates or has the value because I'm showing exactly what I'm doing over here on the other side. And some people might need to learn these lessons, so they watch it and they get some value from it. Now, I also have some other ones which are more detailed where I go in and actually film myself setting up a scene. For example, this is like how to do UGC stuff. So I set up the whole scene and I show people how I actually record this. And this is like the screen recording as I'm opening a box. And this is me filming the box opening process. So that one's the unboxing tutorial. There's also like this one where I'm showing the testimonial video style, and I am showing these shorts off in that video. And so there's many different ways, but I think if you're starting and you're new, stick to something simple that you can continue doing and that you can build and expand upon. The important thing is that the students that are watching your class understand and learn a new concept. So once we finished with that, we're moving on to merchandising. Now, the merchandising part is essentially this. You just go on here, you start a new class. Basically, you just press on teach right here, and then you create a class. And then from create a class, you'll be led to this screen. You just upload your videos here, and then the merchandising part comes in here. So your class title, it could be something like enhancing creativity with AI, exploring concepts of machine learning. So something like that, for example. And then your class description, we went through earlier. Project description, essentially what you want to do is just to guide them through the project that we're talking about in the class that you're teaching them. So maybe it's something like, you'll create blank following the instructions from the class. And then you'll write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go in depth and maybe share some certain attachments that might help them create what you're teaching. And then just go through the different steps. And then at the end, ask them to potentially upload it to the project section so that you can take a look at it. And then as you scroll down, there's the levels part, which you can choose what level this type of class is. And then for the categories, you pick your category. Like for me, if I were doing a AI class, I would have something in AI. And then there's a subcategory for that. So I could go in here, maybe AI for creativity. And then maybe there's AI for design that I could have for my class. And then also, this is also very helpful, is that you can choose the software that they use in here. So for example, if it's like ChatGPT or some Adobe effects, or maybe there's some certain brands or tools that you could also go over and find here on materials. So maybe it's acrylic paint, or maybe it's acetate. So you would choose this to help the search engine filter out, because as people are looking for your class, they might be looking for something of a certain material. Maybe it's acrylic paintings, and then they'll type in acrylic. And because you have material on here, it'll help funnel your class into somebody that wants to learn about acrylic painting. Now, let's jump back into description, because the description also needs a bit of working on, but it's very similar to the trailer that we did already. And this is also part of this Skillshare step part I have right here. So description would be something like this, similar to the trailer, but more detailed. So of course you would use what you have for your trailer and then just add a bit more detail on there if you think that would expand and help the point of, or help communicate the point of what you're teaching. So I'll start off with a good hook for your description. Like maybe this is a breakthrough tool in AI for image to video creation, or video to video expansion, or lip syncing creation, something like that. So engaging hook. And then you would have the course overview. This is where you talk about what you do. So in this class, we will explore blank the topic for the example that we have here, painting, and how to blank the main goal of the class. This one would be painting a sky in blue sunset colors, and then explain why this skill is important in today's world. Now, it doesn't have to be completely important in today's world. It could be just be like, this is a beautiful skill to learn if you're trying to be an artist that's focusing on oceanography or sea life or sunset colors, and you want to learn that. So explain why it could be a benefit for them. And then go into the key takeaways, which was in the trailer. And then also, who is this class for? This class is for blank, whether you're a certain, like beginner, intermediate, advanced. And if you, for example, here, explain how this skill can help them. For me, because I do a lot of AI classes, if you want to do marketing with creativity in the AI world, then you could gain a strong advantage in creating ad designs based on these projects or based on this lesson. And then closing encouragement is like, all right, if you're ready to start learning, then let's begin. And so for here, I did have an example of what his class might look like. I'll leave it in here as well. And also, if you do like his work, you should subscribe and support because he does some really amazing painting work. So I want to push his stuff as much as possible as well. So once you have all that down, you have the merchandising down, you have the video lessons down, you're ready to submit. Now, the cover image for these classes is usually done in a way where there's two screens. One is of you and the other is of whatever you're learning. So you'll see here a lot, this staff pic here has the person, the protagonist in the right side, and the other side, there's the lesson that you learn. Now, there's also the ones that are centered, where this is Ali Abdal here, and then you learn the Notion thing on the other side. But you see a lot of the style where there's one person, and then next to that, like it's split out in two sides, where next to that is what you learn. So there's him, and then there's what you learn next to him. And I also do that style a lot for my classes. If you look at my course curriculum, I do a lot of the style where it's my face on one side, on the other side, it's what you learn. So my face on one side, the other side, what you learn. So also once in a while, I guess I do this one where it's like me kind of centered, but not. But on the other side, it's also what you learn. So that's TikTok SEO. So same with these here, but these style ones are a bit older, so I haven't gone back and changed those. But the new ones, the AI classes that I've done, I've kept it to that style. This is my latest class here. It's me on one side, and on the other side, it's what you'll learn. So if you found this helpful, consider subscribing. Watch my classes on Skillshare. If you want to see what I put out, Skillshare link is skillshare.com/Arnold. Super easy to get to, and thanks a lot for watching.